Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Inner Goddess Beauty. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is my first ever tutorial, guys, so yay, I'm pretty excited about this. This look that I have today was inspired by one of my favorite artists, Layla Hathaway. Miss Hathaway's skin is always flawless, it's always glowing, and she's like got so much positive energy, so that's why I chose her as the inspiration for my first tutorial. So I did do a little bit of strobing, a lot of highlighting, just to bring out the glow that's always in Miss Hathaway's skin. I normally do not wear red lipstick, but I did wear red lipstick today, and I'm just going to show you really quickly what I used. This is actually, it's called Scarlet Siren from Estee Lauder, and this is the red that I used today. And I lined my lips with MAC. Now, I've always said this in my other videos. This is a liner that all chocolate girls should have, in my opinion. This is called Chestnut. That's what I use to line my lips. And to make my lips look a little bit fuller, LA Girl lip glaze. And I think I rubbed off the name of this. I think it's called Pinup. So, if you want to know how I achieved this look, please stay tuned. Keep watching. Always, guys, give it a thumbs up if you want to see more tutorials. Like, share, subscribe, and thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. Alright, guys, so again, this look was inspired by one of my favorite artists, like I mentioned, Miss Layla Hathaway. So we'll get right into the tutorial. First, I am priming my eyelids. I've already did my eyebrows off camera, so I'm just going in here with the primer. I am using the Urban Decay primer to just prime my eyelids before I start putting on any eyeshadow, and that'll help it with creasing, help it to last longer, and intensify my color. So to make sure my color is very deep, very pure, and bring out the pigments. Okay, once I have primed my eyelids, I'm just going to go in and set it with my eye color. And I'll put in the description box which color this was. I don't remember what I used. I believe it was MAC Brown Script, but I'll definitely put it in the description box. So once I once I set my eyelids with the color very close to my skin tone, I'm just going to go in a little bit closer to the brow, and I'm still setting that because I'm setting the concealer I used by my brow. Just again to make sure it doesn't get all shiny later on, and it just sets it and gives it a nice matte finish. Now I'm going to go in with my next shade, and this is going to be, because this is more of like a gold color, so I'm going in with a little more intense gold, and I'm going to put that all across closer to my brow bone. I'm going into the corners of my eye and brushing that all across the lid. Now I'm going to go in with my transition color and put that across more in my crease, a little bit more deeply in the outer crease. And that color is Embark by MAC. And I'm just going to use a fluffy brush. I'm using a fluffy brush just to buff that out. And I'm going to blend that with Swiss Chocolate, also by MAC. And I'm going up a little bit higher than where I had put Embark. And I'm just brushing that in and just mixing those two colors very well. Now with another gold color, gold base color, I'm going to go in directly, oh sorry, I was out of focus there, on my eyelid. And as you see, I'm just packing that in just to make sure that the pigments really pick up. I'm not really brushing it back and forth, so that way I don't have that much fallout.
And I'm just checking it out, and I like the way that it looks. So this is LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is the orange corrector. And I'm not going to put this all over my face, but I am going to put it on some of my darker spots where I have hyperpigmentation. And this is just going to color correct, because a lot of times, you know, especially with women of color, the hyperpigmentation has like a blue undertone, and orange will cancel out that blue. So of course I wear glasses, so where, you know, my glasses sits usually has that darker color. Underneath my eye I have the darker circles, so I'm just going to put that in. I like to use my fingers, and it kind of warms it up, and I just dab it in and get it mixed in really well with my fingers. And right on top of my nose, I have some more pigmentation from my glasses that I've worn for so many years, and it just got that mark there, so I'm just going to make sure I get it. Right around my cheeks, I have some old breakout scars there, so dab that in just a little bit. Then I'm going to go over that once I've mixed it with my foundation. And I am using the MAC Studio Fix. And again, I'm still kind of working that in with my fingers right on top of my color correction. And with my Beauty Blender, I'm just going to pat that in. And I'm not really dragging it out, I'm just patting it in right on top of the color correction that I did earlier. And you guys, you know how to put on foundation, but I take it all the way to the hairline, get my cheeks. I usually do my forehead last because I'm cautious not to mess up my eyebrow. And so far, that's just what I'm looking like once I put on my foundation. And I am using e.l.f. concealer stick to do my highlighting. And I just more or less do kind of like a triangle underneath my eye, and which the purpose of this is just to make it look like you're glowing. So wherever the light would normally catch your face, you're going to kind of intensify that, and it's going to give you a very glowing look. Alright, and I'm going to get right on the bridge of my nose. My Cupid's bow. Just make kind of straight lines there. And sometimes I do my chin, sometimes I don't. I don't really do a whole lot on my forehead because, as you can see, I kind of have a big forehead. So I don't want to do a whole lot with that. I do more contouring with my forehead than highlighting. And that is the finished look once I have blended it in. And if you see here, I am using a different beauty blender just so I don't mix the colors and mix what I have going on. So you want to keep your highlight about 2 shades lighter than your foundation. So this is why I use a totally different beauty blender when I blend in my highlight. And I'm going in underneath my eyes. get my forehead there, and you don't want to leave any harsh lines, and I'm just, for the most part, just dabbing. Now I am going to use my black radiance concealer stick. I used a brush to pick it out for my nose, and this concealer stick is in Mahogany. It is in the darkest one that they have, and I'm going to use that to contour my nose, and that just gives your nose a nice chiseled look. And I'm going to go into the hollows of my cheek there. And I make my little fish face when I do this so I can really get the hollows of my cheek. And of course, like I mentioned, I'll get my forehead. And I do go a little bit heavy with my contouring of my forehead because my forehead is rather large and round. So I kind of do that. And again, with that same beauty blender that I did my highlight, but I'm using a different side. So I'm going to lightly bring my contour up. Be careful as you blend your contour not to drag it down. That'll make your face look a little droopy, you know, kind of sad looking. So I slightly bring it up. And with my black opal setting powder, I'm going to go ahead and set where I put in my highlighter. Now there's mixed reviews out there on this particular setting powder, but I like it just as much as I like my Ben Nye. I don't too much care for the packaging. Packaging is a little messy, but I do like it, so I use it quite often. And again, everywhere I put that e.l.f. concealer, I'm just going to go in, make sure there's no creasing later, and it helps for your color to stay in place. So I'm just going to dab that in, and I'll let it sit for a little while off camera, so that way it could just soak it in, make sure everything stays where it needs to go. So right in my under eyelid, in the waterline, I'm just going in with a black eyeliner pencil. I want to say this one is Revlon. I'm just giving it that kind of like a smoked out look, going back and forth with that. And I'm going to do my eyeliner. This is not really a very deep winged eyeliner because the look is more subtle that I'm going for, so we're not doing like a winged eyeliner or anything like that. And I'm just getting in really close to my eyelashes and keeping that line as straight as possible. I do small strokes instead of one long stroke when I do my eyeliner. And then this is my Lancome favorite mascara, by the way, guys. Doll Lashes Mascara. I do my lower lashes first. And then I'll do my upper lashes. Okay, this is MAC Skin Finish. I had to think about that for a while. And I'm going to use my blot powder, my MAC blot powder, just to keep everything in place. And I'm using the Mineral Skin Finish. That's what it's called. The MAC Mineral Skin Finish. Sorry, guys, it is late. And I just put that in parts that I want to highlight. And these are my highlighting beads that I've been using for years. Those are actually from Mary Kay. And I put that right underneath my highlight, and that just kind of gives it a little bit of a sparkle. It doesn't have a whole lot of sparkle to it, but it just gives it a little bit of a glow. Time for my lips. I think this is my favorite part when I get to do my lips. And I usually do not wear red lipstick, but I am using my chestnut brown lip liner from MAC, you guys. And I am just going to line my puckers before I put on my lipstick and my lip gloss. So I do take my time when I do my lips because I love a nice clean lip. And I'm just going to blot my lips together just to mix it in a little bit. Alright, and I'm going in with this red lipstick. This is Estee Lauder, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it's called Stiletto. But again, I will leave that in the description box for you. And I'm just dabbing it on. I think I'm a little bit scared to put too much on because I don't really wear a red lipstick. And I'm going in with my LA Girl lip gloss in the little glazed lip glosses. You know, you can get these at the beauty supply store. Fairly inexpensive, but they're highly pigmented and they do last all day long. And I'm going in especially in the middle of my lips because it helps your lips to look a little fuller when you use this technique. And that is my very light blush that I'm just going to put on the apples of my cheek. Not too much, you guys. I don't want to have, you know, extremely rosy cheeks. But I do want to have just a little bit of color on my cheeks. And I go in with a very, very light hand, as you can see. And I'm just going to buff it out without putting any more product on my brush. I'm just buffing it out and just blending. And my Black Radiance Glow. This is my highlighter, my Black Radiance highlighter. This is going to give me that extra glow on my cheeks. And I'm going to go just slightly above my blush, under the eye, and just bring that out. And I'm using a fan brush to do that. And I'm going to go right above my eyebrow area and just fan it out. Again, I'm using a light hand on the forehead area. I put a little bit more on my cheek area than on my forehead area. I'm going to get my tip of my nose there just to catch the light. And my Cupid's bow. And that is the finished look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed making this video. Again, like, subscribe, and share. And I will be making more videos. Thanks, guys.